Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus giving you guys more than the meta. Guys, I'm actually giving you a gameplay breakdown of my Miami Dolphins ebook and me running with the Raiders on defense. This Miami ebook that I just have posted, the schemes is basically 8 different formations on offense. As 5 of which you can access from the base formation, which is going to be single back close. And then also I'm going to be using some gun formations too, but not in this gameplay video. I was pretty effective just using just a few different formations, but I've got a full scheme that's on my Patreon. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and go to my Patreon. So guys, I'm running against a Cowboys user, and this guy ran a lot of different types of formations. I think that he was one of those money play people that didn't really have a particular scheme where he would use different plays within a formation. He would just have plays that he ran because a lot of times he would quick snap. He would make one adjustment and just quick snap. He's just using a basic slants play right there, just waiting for the mesh concepts. So he gets a 1st and goal down on the 4-yard line, tries to pound it in against me, and I actually have basically this defense I've been labbing, which is a double A gap defense that I can access other different types of nickel formations. And I like having the double A gap because I've always got an easy threat, especially since no huddles. And right here he tries to pound it in on basically some back-to-back hard runs. So right here, the way I set this up, this has been a very effective defense for me. A lot of people have a hard time with it. I take my outside defenders, put them in flats, and then spy up my yellow zone, and user the deep zone is my user. And a lot of people just have a hard time reading this defense, and in particular in the red zone it's more difficult because it's just very crowded and just people are running around all over the place, and it just makes it very difficult for people to make reads. So he actually puts in a situation right there. When you play online, man, you got to take your points in the first series. If you get point opportunities, you got to take it. You don't want to go for it on a 4th down in the red zone. It's just not smart to do that at the very beginning of the game. Possessions, this game is all about possessions more than anything else. It's not about scoring touchdowns. It's about possessions and going up and getting more points than your opponent. So you'll win more games just by playing smart. Right here, one of my money plays, which is the single back close switch play. Love that play so much. There's extensive breakdowns on my Patreon about that, so that's a play that I am just trying to do whatever I can to master because it's got some phenomenal passing concepts. Here's another play that I audibled into from the single back formation into that, which is kind of like an easy read. It's a levels concept. I force the flat, I give a easy flat read, and then I've got that running back route, and I got levels behind it. So easy progressions. You're reading from right to left or left to right depending where you're going at. In that type of situation, I missed my reads, but I didn't do anything stupid. I just got rid of the ball. Back to this tight end wheel, get the ball down on the 1-yard line, and then I'm just going to hit this guy with an outside run with the speed of my running back, which is like 95. So that's what's great about having a stretch play built into your scheme. So back on defense, and my opponent decides to use this money play. It's just kind of a play action shot. I'm looking for the crosser below. I'm figuring he's going to throw below, but he throws over the top of me and gets a good pass lead. Now guys, I want to get your feedback on it. When you see gun empty sets in general, what defenses do you guys like to run? I don't really have a confident defense, you know. And when you're playing this game, confidence is huge. Is saying, hey, I've got a defense and I've got confidence. I'm going to run this successfully. And I have gotten eaten up with people using empty sets. Empty sets are kind of like my kryptonite. They're things that I have a really hard time with. So what do you guys use with empty sets? Like, is there a particular defensive setup or defensive shell that you use? I'd love to get your feedback down in the comments below, and any kind of tips I'd like to go ahead and see if I can build off of it and share with the community. So back at it right here, I actually audibled out of that double A gap and went into basically a cover 4 shell right here, and he does a little play action, but he's got a crosser on the backside. It was an audible slant and falls into the end zone. So minute and 50 seconds left. My goal is to get into field goal range and then hopefully score a touchdown with basically less than 2 minutes. if I get into field goal range, that's a win because I'm getting the ball in the second half. I got one stop. I need to go up on possession. So right here, I audibled into a new offense that I actually tacked into the scheme because of this particular play, and I read the defense correctly, and I'm able to go and hit him for a big play with the running back out of the backfield down to the 4-yard line, do a little outside run right here. My goal right now is to try to chew down as much as clock as possible. He starts smartly burning some timeouts in that situation just to give him enough time to basically get a couple plays. And then I come back to this money play, which is a switch concept that I love, which I've discovered there's ways to go and get easy touchdowns down to the red zone based on the coverages they use. So that's something that I'll be posting some more information about on my Patreon. So right here, actually hits me, he dots me up with a nice little crosser. He burns a timeout. He pretty much had to do that. If I get one more stop, basically he's not going to have any time. And fortunately right here, with 7 seconds left and no timeouts, he doesn't really have any time to get any points on the board. So he tries to hit me with a crosser, but I've got kind of a block shed. And then he puts in the Hail Mary, which is really not that bad of a thing to do. And you can see right here, this guy freaking throws a 65-yard or 70-yard pass into the red zone. And fortunately, thank God, nobody caught the ball on the Cowboys, and that we go into the second half up by a score and getting the ball. So my job right now is to go up by 2 possessions. So it's still the same mentality at the end of the second half is go in here and see if I can go ahead and pop my opponent for basically for 3 points. If I can do that, if I can get it in the end zone and go up 21-7, that's fine. But making sure I go up by a possession. So I'm in range right now. Now since I got the ball down into the 15-yard line, I'm at field goal range. So I can be super conservative and try to burn the clock, try to go and take away some of his time, because for me it's about winning games. I just want to win games and be competitive against my opponent. Right here I go into a motion. I've got basically whip route and in route, looking to the out route, and I threw the ball right to the running back. He was wide open, but the ball gets overthrown, and it results. Start thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, this is going to be all locked up. Hard flat actually came out, probably would have took away my fast read. I didn't make my progressions quick enough, so once again, don't get stupid in this type of situation. You win games with possessions, not with touchdowns. So I'm going to go ahead and take the field goal, go up by 2 possessions, put him in a situation where he's going to deal with the pressure. So now he jumps into a heavy set. He's got multiple tight ends and stuff like that, and he tries to run it. My guy fills the gap and comes down and actually puts him for a loss. Then he goes into basically a trip set. This is the play that he started with in the very beginning, and it almost hits me over the top. I get a nice deflection by my defensive back, but that could have been a huge play as he tried to hit the post over the top. So that actually was a fairly good read, and he was quick snapping and running the play stock, so I really couldn't do the adjustments that I wanted to do out of this cover 2 man coverage that I was running. So back in the gun right here, dial up some pressure. I'm going to go and jump into basically the 3-3 cub right here, dial up some pressure. He's waiting for the crossers to develop, so I get some edge pressure right there and put him in a 4th and 12. And now I'm really going to dial it up, because he's shown me how he likes to play his schemes. In his schemes, he likes to do a lot of crossing routes and stuff like that. Not very complicated, and he needs time for his plays to develop. So because he's not making fast progressions, he's waiting for guys to get across the field. I can go ahead and dial him up with a touchdown. Or with a blitz. So right here, going back to the play, I've got a check down underneath, but a guy comes down and plays a flat. So I'm just going to get rid of the ball. Just go ahead and throw it away. Live another day. With that, back to this particular play right here, he goes chasing after the running back in the underneath route, and I've got that back dig that's got some more depth, and as a result, he got himself out of position. This guy didn't really have very strong user either, so in that type of situation, I'm able to go ahead and get the ball down to the 1 and fall in for a touchdown. So this guy's behind the 8 ball right now. He's down by multiple possessions. He's got to do something to basically get himself any way back into the game, because he's down by 3 possessions. And right here, I jump into the same cover 2 defense. I just want to go ahead and take my guys, put them over the top. You beat me over the top. I'm going to drop somebody in the zone coverage, and then use the one guy over the middle right here. And I also do kind of a cloud coverage. Right here, my safety comes across in this type of situation, and he doesn't know where to go with the ball because I think I had a zone drop out there, and as a result, he just kind of gets mixed up. This guy was hitting me with slants on a regular basis, and that's really not, those are plays that are not going to really win games for you if you go to slants. They can be annoying, but all that kind of stuff. So right here, I cut off. He actually sees a wide open guy, but I get a lucky animation. That, if you pass led that correctly, maybe highballed that, I probably wouldn't be able to get under it. I was able to pick it off, and then he just basically checked out. So once again, guys, if you want more information, want to get these ebooks for the Miami Dolphins playbook and my 8 formation breakdown, go to my Patreon, and you can go ahead and have access to that full scheme on my website. So once again, thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.